I was released June 23rd, 2003.
I was released on May 1st, 2007, but was exonerated December of 2010, and I haven't been compensated as of today.
I first filed for compensation in 2004, but I didn't receive a dime until August of last year.
The Louisiana legislature passed a compensation law for people who had been wrongly convicted in 2005. It actually took several years of work to get the legislature to a point where they recognized that individuals who'd been wrongly imprisoned needed compensation and deserved compensation from the state.
When an exoneree is released from prison, they obviously have immediate needs. They come out of prison with nothing, no money, and sometimes no family to even support them. And the compensation statute is supposed to fill that need and help them in their transition back to society. However, years can pass between when an exoneree is released from prison and when they're actually compensated.
It's been difficult without being compensated because of the number of years that I lost out of my life. And, I have kids who, they need, things to, get through life.
I did little stints on other jobs, to make ends meet. But, it had been extremely difficult for me, living, trying to survive on, a part-time check.
The compensation statute does not provide for attorney's fees, so the exonerees were forced to hire civil attorneys to represent them on their compensation cases. And we learned that these attorneys were taking up to 1/3 of their compensation money as fees. So Innocence Project New Orleans decided to try to get some resources together so that we could represent them free of charge. And we have done that in the last year.
Louisiana has the second worst compensation law in the country. The federal government provides a good model for compensation. They provide $50,000 a year for every year wrongly convicted, but there is no cap on the amount that one can receive. So if you spend 30 years in prison wrongly for a crime you didn't commit, you get compensated for every one of those 30 years, not just the first 10 years like you do in Louisiana.
During the 2011 legislative session, Innocence Project New Orleans worked with Representative Herbert Dixon to improve the compensation statute. We improved it from $15,000 per year to $25,000 per year and increased the loss of life opportunity money from $40,000 to $80,000.
Innocence Project New Orleans is going to continue to work with State Representative Herbert Dixon and Louisiana's Exonerees to improve the current compensation law in Louisiana. We believe that at a very minimum, Louisiana should pay the men and women that it wrongly convicts at the rate the federal government pays the men and women that it wrongly convicts. We need $50,000 a year for every year wrongly imprisoned with no cap and a much smoother, much easier process for exonerees to access that money promptly when they get home, when they need it.
In the last year, IPNO has obtained compensation for 13 of Louisiana's exonerees, totaling $2.7 million.
I have the key to my house. I have bills and stuff like that, which, I don't mind that, That's what life is about, and I think that's what enjoying freedom is about,